Okay, sorry about that interruption. I guess this will be a two-part video. I had to stop and cough. Um, I want to tell you a story about a little girl who was playing with three horses. And there was a big one, a medium sized one, and a small one. And she took the small one and pretended it was taking a nap. And the medium sized one went and woke up the baby who was taking the nap. She was calling that the baby horse. The big horse comes in and, of course, fusses at the medium sized horse, the little girl horse, for waking up the baby and puts her in timeout. And the mama horse takes the baby horse, and she, maybe 30 seconds to a minute later, the mother horse comes back um, and talks to the medium-sized horse about, now, why are you in timeout? And, why did you wake up the baby? You know you're never supposed to wake up the baby. And, gave her the yeah kind of talking that we give to children. So she was playing out that scenario, seeing what's it like to be the mama and to be, putting me in timeout because she was the medium-sized horse, right? So children play out these scenarios that happen in their everyday life to try to figure out what that would feel like to be the mama, to be the baby. So when they're playing these scenarios, really do refrain from referring to any of it as, well, that's not real. Because in their minds, it is. They're playing out a very real and serious situation. I want to give you just a little bit of information about superhero play and monster play. Children, although they don't have logic yet in preschool, when they get to be around 3, some at 4, they realize there are dangers in the world that they know they're there, but they don't know what they are. They've heard the adults talk. They know bad things happen, but they really don't understand what it all is. And so they personify that general fear of what might be bad in the world by pretending that it's a monster. Now, again, to them, it's not pretend, especially when we're talking about monsters. They really do believe that there are monsters under the bed, monsters in the closet, and they're very fearful of it. Pretending to be the superhero gives them a way to address those fears that they have. I can conquer the dragon. I can chase those ghosts out of the house. I can put them in a box like Ghostbusters or whatever they're pretending. This kind of play is very important. In groups, it can be hard to manage sometimes because we're talking about children all pretending to fight the monsters, and sometimes they can get hurt doing it. So there's always a balance. Okay, that's going too far. That's dangerous. We don't allow weapons at school. So when they're chasing each other with a stick, that's a sword, that's a weapon. We don't play with that at school. Part of that is to teach them that these things are dangerous, in part because what they're doing might not be immediately dangerous, but we know from working with groups of children that someone's going to get hurt. So sometimes we disallow play like that because the children are too into it. It's too real to them and they are starting to hurt each other. So we have to scale back on what we let them do. It's always a balance to let them work out their fears, but to keep the other children safe. So by all means, let them play monster and hero. That's important play for them. They're working out that fear. Fear might be a good topic for next time. I hadn't thought about that. So giving them pretend play props, letting them have your clothes to pretend to be the mom or the dad or whatever they're wanting to pretend to be. No judgments, no, well, that doesn't fit you, or you can't go out looking like that. Whatever they put on and they decide is how the doctor should be dressed, or the mom, or the babysitter, or whoever they're pretending to be. Try to give them as many props as you can. Jewelry, hats, purses, backpacks. Kids love to fill purses and backpacks with stuff. It makes them feel important, right? They're pretending. So try to get some props together, maybe put them in a box. Here, these are the things you can play with for pretend play. This is especially if you want to set limits with whether or not they can go to your room. You don't want them trying on and playing with something that's a favorite thing to wear. So that's setting a good limit with them. So you may want to get a box together that anything goes with that box. Your plastic ware can go in there so they can pretend to cook for each other. But give them a legitimate way to pretend play. Dolls, stuffed animals, action figures. Because, sometimes they're pretending that they're the parent or the teacher, but sometimes they just want the figures to pretend with each other. There's a place, right now I don't even know if she's open, Anna's Toy Depot. Anna usually has a huge box of action figures that you can rummage through and pick out. So I guess right now that's not really a good option unless you mask up and put on a hazard suit and go looking through the box to find some action figures. But it's Anna's Toy Depot. It's in South Austin. It used to be on South Lamar, but she just moved, and I'm not positive where she is. I think it's just in Brody Oaks, just a few blocks further south. Let's see, what else about that? Oh, yeah. If your child gets stuck on wanting to pretend to be whatever. My nephew was into Ninja Turtles, so was a little boy I nannied at the time, and it was making me crazy, having to play Ninja Turtles constantly. So we became the Ninja Turtles pulling weeds. We became the Ninja Turtles playing Candylands. So you can redirect some of that by just accepting the persona and playing with it in a different way. So that's my spiel about dramatic play. It is important. I know that it gets tiresome. You do not need to do it all day. They're not pretend playing the entire time they're at school, right? Although they do get it. They get so much that you couldn't possibly match it, so don't even try. They are pretending all the time. But they can do some of that by themselves. Just make sure they have the props. Tomorrow night, which will be Thursday at 8:30, is our parent meeting again on Zoom. I'm going to be sending the link to the directors, and they will send that to you today. If you're not watching this till later on, then please tune in to our parent Zoom meetings. They're every Thursday night at 7:30. I'm sorry, that's 8:30. And we talk, for about an hour. One of the parents has graciously allowed us to use her Zoom account so we don't have to limit ourselves to a half an hour. So that's it for my spiel today. Be sure to let me know if you have a topic that you would like me to cover, and I can do that for you. Take care, be safe, and I hope to see you on Thursday night. Goodbye.